I do apologise to all those people who are shivering because it's not grammatically correct. I know it shivered, I had to shiver when I wrote it, but good morning everyone, and thank you so much for having me here. It is always an honour and a privilege, and I'm so grateful that I grow through sharing with you. So, I am here. And when Reverend Bill phoned me and said, "Okay, Geraldine, what's the name of your talk?" I said, "I am here." And then there was silence for a few seconds, and I said, "No, it's I am here." And he said, "Yeah, I've got that." And I said, "No, H-E-A-R." And there was another silence. So, yes, as Bill said, it is a bit of a play on words. So there does come a time in our lives when we can honestly say, "I am here." It's usually the time when we throw our hands in the air and say, "Well, I give up, God. I'm here. Okay, I'm here." Then there also comes that time when, after I've said I'm here, we usually go about putting into action what we think we need to do right there on the spot. And then it was for me. I can't speak for everyone, I guess, but there also came that time when it was not just, I am here, but I am here. And now I'm ready to listen to what I'm here to do. That for me was another huge step forward in my level of consciousness. I guess for all of us, then there comes that time when we actually come to that point in our lives. And I thought the best way I could explain this to you was through a story. What else do I do but tell stories? This is my primary school, teaching background coming to life, I think, but also through my love of nature. A couple of weeks ago, I went to the creek, as usual, to meditate. And when I get there and get myself comfortable upon this particular rock that I love to sit on by the creek, I, as usual, said, "Okay, Spirit, I'm here. What is the lesson for me today? I am here, and what am I to hear?" And nothing really happened, and I'm, kind of tapping the foot a bit and thinking, okay, I'll just enjoy the sunshine and the creek. And then out of the corner of my eye came Mother Duck and 8 little tiny baby ducklings. And at first I was just so excited that she would actually come and share this amazingly unique moment in time with me. So I was, "Oh, aren't they beautiful?" You know how we girls go on, "Oh, they're so cute," and da-da-da-da-da. And then I stopped and thought, well, maybe this is the lesson. So, Spirit, what's the lesson in this beautiful moment? The story unfolded before me, and in fact, it became the story of my life, up until now, I guess, and continuing into the future. Now, just for today, I would like you to see the Mother Duck as that divine energy that flows through us 24/7. So we're stretching the metaphysics here a bit, girls and boys. And the baby ducklings are you and I on our journey through life. The creek represented to me that amazing ocean of the cosmic thought and possibilities, the infinite possibilities in life that is ever flowing through you and me. So that's where we begin the story, and the story unfolds. So before them lay lots of challenges, and these challenges were the rapids. And these poor little baby ducklings, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, Mum, you're not going to try and take them up over that, are you? And she, paddled out towards them as we paddle out towards our challenges sometimes and face them. But luckily, this mother duck must have realised and sensed that these little baby ducklings still had to grow in lots of ways before they could face those challenges in life. And I guess for me it was, yeah, I had to grow and still do incredibly in my understanding before I can actually ride those rapids of life, particularly upstream. But this little mother duck, she'd been practicing and learning her metaphysics. She knew what to do next. She took them, and I'm sorry, I didn't have photos of them actually doing this, but she took them over to the side of the bank, just under the writing there. You see how it climbs up. She climbed them what must have to them seemed like a mountain, and the little baby ducks followed. Now, I'm sure you know that mountains, of course, as far as metaphysical meanings go, are lifting our level of consciousness. So that mother duck was taking those little baby ducks up the mountain. She was, I guess, knew that they weren't prepared for the trek over the challenges of the rapids just yet. And so she knew intuitively, as Mother Nature does, to just guide those little ducklings up that mountain. Mountains just are amazing and symbolise so much growth in understanding. Moses brought down the 10 Commandments from the mountain. Jesus took his followers up the mountain for one of his greatest teachings, for the Sermon on the Mount, where all these people sat and listened to him preach or tell them the stories to teach them the Beatitudes. So this wise little mother duck knew exactly what she was doing. She was taking her little babies up there. They had to grow in wisdom and understanding of the ways of the world before they could travel the rapids. Once they had traversed the mountain, she took them back down the bank and into the water again. And the water there was lovely and calm and clear and safe, and those little ducks, you know, on the surface of the water, everything looked so calm and beautiful. But as you can imagine, the currents underneath that water were still moving very fast. And those 16 little webbed feet paddled very hard, and produced the most beautiful patterns of victory in the creek. They had overcome the challenges of the rapids. They had climbed their mountain. They were now back into the stream of life, paddling victoriously onward. Once they got a little further upstream, and probably thinking to themselves, phew, we didn't have to do that, and oh my goodness, I'm so pleased, and all of that, and thought they were home and hosed and pretty safe, Mother Duck presented yet another challenge for them. And this time it was the rocks. As you can see, these rocks aren't little pebbles. They are huge, and they've obviously been put there to contain the creek or to protect the banks of the creek in flood. And these are the rocks that are lovely to sit on to overlook the creek. But Mother Duck decided that she was going to take them up over the top of the rocks. And these poor little babies struggled and struggled. And they jumped and they crawled and they flew and they did everything they possibly could do to get up onto these rocks. Some of them succeeded, some of them didn't, but those who persisted stood proudly on that rock and looked out over the creek. Once again, I'm sure you know that rocks represent our faith, metaphysically. And the same as the little baby ducks. Sometimes we meet those times in life when we need total faith and trust. We persevere and we struggle, and sometimes we don't make it onto the rocks. we fall back into the water, or we fall back on the other, what's below us. Until finally we persevere and grow our understanding sufficiently that we finally get up on that rock of faith and trust, and we say, I am here, and I am here. And we listen to the call. So on the story went, and down the rapids, back down the creek. The mother duck brought them off the rocks, down into the water again, and back over the rapids, sailing into the light. Now, those poor little ducks, they must have gone, here we go. And mother duck just sailed over the top of the rapids, picking the path, I might add, that was easiest. And the little ducks hung on tight, and they were, falling and tumbling and everything, but they got through. I heaved a sigh of relief with them, and you could feel everyone going, oh, thank goodness for that. They're here. But Mother Duck turned. There was something wrong. And she gently called and called and continued to call, as she did right through this whole story. It wasn't a loud shouting or, quacking at them. It was this very soft call, constantly, over and over. So she turned back and she looked up the creek and called and called. There were 2 little ducks missing. One of them quickly came towards her, obviously was just a bit slow coming over those rapids like sometimes I am. But there was still one missing. And she sat there patiently. And I could see all the other little ones going, for heaven's sake, Mum, we're here. Come on, don't look back. Let's just keep going. We don't need to look back. Because Mother Nature never looks back. Mother Nature just clears everything before her and moves on into infinite possibilities. But Mother Duck turned just as God turns and constantly calls us to what we need to hear. And God, in this case, is saying, I am here. I am here. Can you hear me? In the distance, I saw this tiny little duckling paddling its hardest. It was coming as fast as its little legs could take it. Then it stopped in front of the rapids, and I could feel everything around me taking a big deep breath, and we waited. And it stopped, and it looked at what was ahead of it, and finally it took the plunge. And over the rapids it sailed, and it was crashed into the rocks, it was tumbled, it went under the water, it bobbed up, it went under again, against the rocks again, and finally it sailed into the light to its mother. And I sat there and thought, oh my goodness, Spirit, what an amazing lesson you are teaching me this morning. I can say I am here, but do I understand also that you're saying to me, I am here? Can you hear me? Calling to the ocean of infinite possibilities. Let's co-create together amazing things in this world. That was the story that unfolded before me. I also happened during the week, isn't it amazing how things happen? When you start thinking about what am I going to talk about, quick, what am I going to talk about, Spirit, what am I going to talk about? I just happened to pick up Eric Butterworth's book, The Universe is Calling, and the quote that I had this morning, and I'm just going to read that again. The call of the universe is like the pull of the sun on the sunflower, which causes the blossoms to open up and face the sun continuously as it crosses the sky. It is the pull of life upward and outward on all growing things. And obviously in nature, the mother duck just knew intuitively what she needed to do, and she just kept calling. God is constantly calling us. So after this wonderful, wonderful lesson from Spirit that morning by the creek, I made my way up the bank, and as I turned to say goodbye and gave enormous gratitude for all the blessings and the lesson of that morning, this is what I saw. Rainbow blessings pouring down upon the creek and all of its inhabitants, and I felt truly blessed.